Hello everybody and welcome to part 21 of my Desert China series. And the last part I accidentally hit pass when I meant to end the series, so this part will be starting at the beginning of a turn. And unfortunately that deprives us of all the midterm prompts of what the other people are doing and such. That ominous music was the worker that we had kind of just left to hang, being, left to hang. So, because this guy is outside of his camp, I think we can probably squeak by him safely. He'll probably return to the camp. In fact, I don't see how he can protect both of these workers, but that's neither here nor there. Alright, so let's see here. Borders are grown, so let's make sure we are working that. Improving that, I should say. We have a couple of city growths. Let's see here. Growth in 5. Walls are finished. I think I'll go ahead and opt for castle next. Our happiness is doing fine in terms of the zoo, and we are kind of heading towards Neuschwanstein in the near future. However, this is not an important build, so we're looking at 5 turns until growth. Let's check this. It's still 5. Let's check that. Now it's down to 4. So let's do that because the actual production is not that important. Okay, in the city, we're going to continue to work these as much as possible. We got good tiles now thanks to fertilizer. Let's see here. Open borders with Hiawatha ended. Okay, that might be just fine. Let's see here. I actually had some of these recorded in advance, so I do apologize. It's been brought to my attention numerous times that Beijing has wanted for dyes, and this is part of the reason. I know this doesn't actually explain it because it doesn't apply here, but this is part of the reason why I try to do the half-hour programs, because, you know, there's so many terms in a game and so much to keep track of that it's real easy to overlook certain things. And in the early game, just about any icon over here is something that can be immediately addressed, but there comes a point where icons just linger from turn to turn, and, you know, I make the mistake of forgetting to look at them. So yes, dyes have been available. So let us take a look at this. It says we're actually getting wine and gold back next turn, so we can trade one of those away from the dyes. I just wanted to address that. As for faith, let's get back to that. Let's instead head to policy. It's too soon for the rationalism finisher, and this is the point where we can take volunteer army, foreign legion. I think in the last section or two I was calling them freedom fighters because I forgot what they were actually called. But I do want to go ahead and rename all these to FL, foreign legion, just so later, well, actually in 2 turns, when we upgrade all of our units to basically be the same, we'll be able to keep track of which is which. And it matters because of this buff right here, combat bonus outside friendly territory 20. These are the ones we're going to be wanting to lay siege to our enemies with, and the other ones we can use as home defense. So I just wanted to keep that squared away. My cat is tearing it up all across the living room. She's got a lot of energy right now. It's kind of distracting, but amusing. Alright, so now that we have these guys, it's time to start heading for Hiawatha. I kind of wish I had denounced him sooner. Maybe, as we can see, he hasn't declared war despite all of our best efforts to goad him into it. And now with the upgrading of our units and the acquisition of the Foreign Legion, I think there's probably no way he's going to declare war on us. Whereas if we had denounced him back, maybe. And the only reason I didn't denounce him is because I was trying to protect my reputation with others, but I think once he denounced us, I would have been free to do that without penalty. So that's my mistake. Anyways, we're going to start moving these guys, everything that can contribute to the war. Heading towards the Inca, we will start moving over there. As far as these guys, though, we will start backing them up. These guys will, because they're all of our melee is about to be upgraded into infantry. And the ones that don't get the foreign buff we have 3 total, it looks like. We can use maybe 1 up here for home defense, 2 down here, and then everybody else we can move over west, take all of his desert tiles away from him, and then maybe head to Brazil. In the meantime, tech-wise, let's see, I imagine we're definitely going to want Brandenburg Gate so that we can pick up the Great General immediately, so we can claim some coal finally, and then probably I think going to railroad might be a good idea just so we can get Neuschwanstein. But I don't want to do like the last series where I totally overlooked atomic theory. So maybe we'll go into railroad just to get Neuschwanstein, but then we'll work towards atomic theory so that we can get a bit more bite, as well as have the tech needed to start building planes and stuff. I'm not very well versed in late game military, so this is going to be fun. And of course we do pick up artillery along the way. Once that happens, we'll just start spamming them, because unfortunately our archers didn't get any practice when it would have been super helpful. So as a result, they are limited to 1. In fact, in retrospect, it might have even been worthwhile to not upgrade them, let them have their 2 range. Yes, they would have been weaker, but they probably would have been a little more influential in the upcoming skirmish. Alright, so enough of that. Let's get all of our units heading that way. These aren't going to be the best blockers against musketmen, but these are just placeholders until the Foreign Legion get over here. Perhaps I should have moved him down here. I didn't realize this guy was only going to be able to reach so far. And these guys along the road obviously can move quicker. Yeah, this guy can hop on the road as like an afterthought. Same with him. And then he can jump on there. Okay, that's probably good. Yeah, we'll have all the Foreign Legion head that way. So as far as May purchase with Faith, another thing, hindsight's always 20/20. I know I was using that profit to upset him, but it didn't stick. Like, he never declared war, and he just converted his cities right back. Now that's conversions that he's not spreading elsewhere, but his religion actually has a good number of cities at this point. This is part of the reason why I think attacking him. Oh wow, I didn't realize he was being so effective. So yeah. Let's take that Great Mosque of Jinn from him. Let's take his desert tiles away. He'll be religiously neutralized at that point, at which point we can take advantage of the Great Mosque of Jinn and maybe start erasing some of that. I don't know how much I want to put faith into religious people, but our faith per turn is quite awesome, and will only get better as we conquer more and more world wonders. So I guess what I was getting at is, as far as faith purchasing go, maybe like an Inquisitor to erase the cities we take, and then, you know, follow up with missionary to spread our religion. Although I do think the Inquisitor himself does some instillment of the religion. And if I'm not mistaken, Inquisitors are single use, so if we're going to take these 2 cities to deprive him of all his desert tiles, which probably a good idea, that would be 2 Inquisitors followed by a missionary. A bit expensive on the faith side because of the era we're in. We're now looking at 420 apiece, so that is an expensive proposition, but we're not planning on winning this by having a religious dominance, so I guess that's fine. Looks like my mouse is glitching. There we go. Alright, so we can get back to the actual minutia now that we're done talking about all of the overarching things. Similarly with workers, we should probably start having them head west as they free up. They're all kind of spoken for right now, and that's fine. I think that's fine. Shanghai. So we're finally getting to a point, and we're about to hit the railroad tech, which will give us another trade route. I think we're finally hitting a point where we can relax feeding the expands. chemistry is here. We were overlapping. In fact, as you can see, Shanghai is now caught up with Guangzhou. And yeah, so there's that. Are we working a heavy production tile? No, we're not. Just the horses, which is fine. I just wanted to compare growth rate. So yeah, maybe it's time to start sending our trade routes out for city-state. Oh, look at that! The foreign legions. We could bully Ragusa if we wanted to. We are dominating their culture, and we could send a trade route to them right now. So I don't think tributing them is particularly useful. We could also send a trade route to Zurich. In light of the upcoming conflict... Oh, wait, never mind. I was going to say we could satisfy Zurich to make them... But I was going to point out that having our trade route reaching this close to his territory when we go to war might be problematic. So... let's send it to Ragusa just so we have more support, not only as we approach war in the west, but after that we'll have war in the south. Alternatively, we could go for Sidon, because we are going to be making a great general. If we send it up there now, they're irrational but not hostile. I think that means slightly more rapid decay. 93, so yeah. Sidon will have a great general. We don't have to send the trait route here right now, because having this guy close to our Poland Iroquois border is not immediate need. Just looking at the distribution of my Great War Infantry. Oh, we can if something happens in the south or the north, we can react. Having 6 foreign legion that upgrade to infantry and have their buff will probably steamroll these cities, even without the support of the horsemen and the Gatling guns. So I'm confident not only will they be relatively quick fights, but we'll be able to respond to anything that gets thrown at us from without. So I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, I think let's just go ahead and send this to Ragusa, and I have to assume that sending it from the capital is going to be the most profitable. And we get to throw a little extra religious pressure that way, which isn't particularly helpful right now, but might play a role in the long term. Okay, that was a lot to address in this turn. Let's pass our turn and see how the world responds. Keeping open borders with him. We can take a look at this on our turn. I'm just going to deny him. I'm thinking since this city's right here, just having open borders might be useful, having more room to maneuver in instead of having to obey that. I'm not sure how necessary that is, but we can always make that decision at a later time. Trade route established for Ragusa. Zurich desires copper. Well, we have natural copper, so it's just a question of how soon it will return, so that's a given. And trade route established for Ragusa. That helps the capital. And of course, in 13 turns, we'll get another... okay, these guys must be hostile. It says 1.5. Yeah, okay. I gotta pay more attention to that. I'm really pleased with this series in general. I'm learning. I continue to learn a lot, and that's really great, I think. Okay, Nanjing loves the king. We get some horses back. Let's start distributing them as far away as possible so that we're not... whoops. As far away as possible that remains profitable, I should say. And unfortunately, there's no good options after him. So, I guess Poland. Beefing him up, we could actually have them go to war. In fact, let's just take a quick look at military. Like I said, I had a few spots recorded in advance, so I am a little out of touch with the current data. Let's compare Poland to the Iroquois. They're right on top of each other, and they are the leaders. So it really might be worthwhile for us to pay them to go to war, have them whittle down each other's military before we get our hands on them. And then the other thing to look at would be Brazil. We were on par with them until we got our Foreign Legion, and of course all of our melee are about to become infantry, and we'll be coming out with artilleries probably before we attack, because he has the Great Wall and he's in the jungle, so being able to attack him without having our artillery's range is probably going to be a little more challenging, so I expect that's how that will go. So yeah, we have to think, how soon do we want to get that ball rolling. Let's see. Hiawatha only is interested in the wine, so the gold we got back is meaningless as far as securing these dyes. And here we go. Da, 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 da. Finally getting dyes for Beijing. So sorry, Beijing. So sorry. I gave you Petra, though, so hopefully no hard feelings. That leaves us with gold to sell off, and it looks like Ahmed is going to be able to give us the highest lump sum. Does he got the GPT to back it? Of course he does. At this stage in the game, who wouldn't? So that would be 80s, just shy of 3 gold per turn. So we would say 5. I think that's a bit much. I think it's more like 75 is what they go for. Yeah, so there we go. And of course our money is booming, but that is kind of illusory. We are about to hit plastics, which is not only research labs but also infantry upgrades for everybody. In fact, we're about to complete Big Ben, so we'll probably wait a turn on the purchasing of research labs. Castle's finished in this city. Great news. What about Nanjing? Nanjing's been busy buffing all of our defensive buildings, which is nice. Castle on the outlying cities makes sense. Yeah, okay. So as far as Shanghai goes, building project. Arsenal comes next in terms of defense. That might be worth pursuing. I don't think war is going to visit Shanghai, so I'm not sure how useful that is. Maybe this would be the time to start bolstering a little bit of happiness, since we are about to start taking some cities. Yeah, alright, let's take a look at our workers here. Chop chop, that puts in towards that, but not enough, probably because of radius. Farm finished here, so let's see, can we keep our 3 growth in 3? This way we can. Okay, let's get a little more hammers going. Not sure how important it is, because next turn we're going to interrupt this to start building a research lab here, but there you go. Alright, so we're having a bit of a traffic jam here. Let's try our best to be as efficient about this as possible. Definitely want to keep our ranged in the backfield to some degree. I saw that there was a trade route running through here, so I think sending 1 horseman to the south. In fact, let's just make it the Lancer. That makes sense, right? He's already down there. We're friendly with Ragusa, so this is not trespassing. We do not have open borders with Brazil, but we can negotiate for that. It will be a little wasteful, but it will help us plunder that trade route. I don't know how many horsemen he has, but our Lancer can get back up there anyways. Speaking of which, when we get to military science, we'll be able to take cavalry, and that'll do what? From knight to cavalry. What are we talking there? Where's the tech? There it is. Oh, that's going to be a big upgrade from 20 to 34. So yeah, I think keeping these guys held back. On the other hand, it's going to be a few turns before we have military science, so if there's something these guys can do on the outskirts. Anyway, you slice it, they're going to be more of a support type role. So this guy should be able to get 2 because of machinery. Alright, so let's get this guy heading this way. That is literally his furthest movement. But I think it's more important that we move the foreign legion forward than it is to move these guys back. So let's do that. He's going to be able to come not quite all the way out there. I'll move these guys out of my borders just for now. Make room for all these guys getting as far forward as possible before I upgrade them. There we go. There's that. Looks like he could trade places with him, so let's just get him out of the way for 1 second. There we go. What about this guy? He could probably trade places with... Yep, okay. And then this guy, how far can you reach? To there. And that is golden. All of our foreign legion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, have fully moved, so now we can safely move these guys without getting in the way. Looks like that is as far as he can go. He can reach there. But we'd want this guy to come along into the road, so Yeah, let's have these guys just kind of hug the road. Yeah, like that. That works. Right, okay, and he's coming down, ends up in Beijing, so we save maintenance for 1 second. Right, okay, so we didn't have to move these guys outside of our borders at all. We can do that. And in fact, when these guys start moving to upgrade, they'll kind of be in the way, so we'll have to think about how that's going to work and look. What we can do is start heading this guy out as like a scout. He's got Inquisitors out. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. And we can have him. I don't want to have too many end up outside of our border, so let's just back him up like there. That'll work for now. Alright, there's something here. 1, 2. Oh, okay. We'll just land, get that good visibility, keep on cruising then. Hey, look at this. We actually get this worker back. So 1, and then we can end on the hill both for defense and for visibility. Maybe I should have moved in such a way that I could capture a worker, because he's not going to be able to juggle both these workers, and the fact that this one didn't prompt me means this is one we stole before. Maybe it hops in the water and just starts heading east, because if we're starting to conquer land, we are going to need more workers to, you know, build roads and repair tiles and all that goodness. I'm not seeing a reason for this right now, so we'll just revisit that on our own terms at a later time, if necessary. Damn. Oh, I see, because... Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have left him to defend that thing, because the extra worker would have been nice. Oh well. Moving along. Okay, we actually get that tile, so that works out very well. Okay, Nanjing grows. Nice. Keep that good production going. Now, I could have sworn I just slotted a citizen in this city last turn. Wonder what that's about. Or 2 turns ago, was it? Either way, it's not making sense. Okay. 5 turns until growth, 4 turns until growth. So let's do that. Yep, we knew that. We knew that. Horses. We can just address that real quick. He's saying guarded, so...
Hola?
And he was just saying friendly, so I don't think we're going to get full value from him. That just leaves him, unfortunately, trying not to equip him. Although at this point, depending on where he is tech-wise, maybe his horses aren't just all that great. Who knows? Antwerp calls for faith. Well, I think we're doing good there, so... Right, so plastics is finished. That means a great number of things. It means let us go step, upgrade, step, upgrade. He needs to get out of the way for just a second. He'll be northern support, so let's just back him off like that. We'll have him step, upgrade, him step, upgrade, and then these guys can all, he can probably get to here, still have mobility to upgrade, and same with this guy, move him all the way there, mobility to upgrade. Good deal. So we'll back this guy up. He'll be southern patrol, I guess, for lack of a better word. These guys can upgrade, so let's do that. Let's see here. You're heading over to Dewar. Something like that. And can we move there? I think so. No? Okay, he's just playing out of mobility. So let's just erase what I just said. Let's see. He can move all the way to there. And upgrade. And same thing here. turn behind, but that's okay. Alright, so our military score just spiked significantly. This is down to saying 3 turns instead of 4. That's because of spillover. 423. That's leaving like a little over 700 to be made up for. We're at the 700, so that means if we have a research lab bot, we'll probably shave a turn off that. But we're not going to do it this turn because Big Ben's coming out. We're going to save money because I think I want to buy it here and probably here also because we're building the Wonder here and we got a little bit of infrastructure. Because you got to keep in mind at any point we could just get the coal. But in the meantime we are working towards the coal. So yeah, military science next for Brandenburg Gate. All land units for all units built in this city. So that's more XP. I think this is the one that's supposed to go along real well with Alhambra as far as offensive potential. I mean defensive as well, obviously they benefit, but I'm saying not like Red Fort, which is or Great Wall, which is specifically defensive wonders. Okay, so he's fine like that. He's late to the party. Thankfully he gets past these guys. I didn't actually check for that before choosing to plop them there, and that's fine. This is definitely a worker that is free to come join the party. Gonna want more than one, so probably this guy. I don't know. We'll play that as we go. Here we're gonna just go ahead and negotiate for open borders. On the downside, because he's guarded, we're getting a shorter deal. I should have made this transaction last turn. I wasn't accounting for him reacting to our surge in the military. But keep in mind, once we're finished with the Inca, we will probably go to war with him, in which case that will just get kind of like refunded. So let's go down this way. I want to keep an eye on this guy. In fact, this would be the turn to denounce him back. So let's just do that now. And that way we can declare war next turn, and hopefully that means we intercept this. Oh, and I see this missionary here. Profit, missionary, profit. So yeah, let's actually do this. Okay. Yeah, let's get more firepower hidden down there. Maybe this guy too? He can move pretty fast, so if we do need him back in the north, we can zip, zip, zip. But let's try gathering these folks up. There's 3 of them. Let's see if we can track their movement here. It would be easier if these guys... Hey, look at this! People are joining us in our hate for the Inca. That's actually kind of surprising. Yeah, we're just going to tell him to sit on it. Hey, more allies. Okay, I was not expecting this, to be honest with you. Alright, so we get this profit for free. Hopefully it's got some charges left. There's Big Ben. So a lot going on this segment. A lot going on. Not many turns evolving, but took a fundamental shift in policy. So yeah, let's just buy the research lab, which is now at a reduced price. 25% specifically. I don't know if we can pull off the land and still grow in the same amount of time. No. So let's just go ahead and move this guy over for now, like that. That way we maintain our growth. And the next time we grow a citizen, we can just plop him in there. Because I don't see any like strong... I mean, we could jump off of this just to do that, but I don't think that's worth it. Tech-wise, we are looking at 2 turns until military science, so something that would fill the gap for 2 turns. I do want to get the Musicians Guild up at some point. Our gold is too strong in this city, though, so let's get the stock exchange up in that time, and then we'll head to Brandenburg Gate. Declaration of Friendship has expired with Venice. He's so far away that either we're just not going to get to him by the time this 50 turns are up, or he'll be among our last victims, so I don't worry about that. Iroquois have denounced the Inca. India and Poland now friends. Morocco has denounced the Inca. Okay. So a couple more people have denounced the Inca. And this will be the turn we declare war on them, so perhaps That is a good tile. 2 food, 3 hammer. That's 5 yield. It's better than... well, we would give up this one at this point. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. It's the same way this way, except for more food. That'll translate to more in the long run. Yeah, that's good. So really, I didn't need this worker working on that tile at all. I could have had him heading towards the war. How many turns do you have now? 3? Yeah. We're just going to have this taken over so quickly, I don't know that it's going to even matter. Okay, so let us get this party started. Oh yeah, plastics. I totally didn't... Oh my goodness, I can't believe I... Oh. See, this is why when a tech is finished researching, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that change? What do we want to do? So we lost a turn here. The loss of a turn here, not as big of a deal because we complete the Colosseum in the meantime, but yeah, mistake was made. What can you do, though? I'm actually... Yeah, we'll stay right there as far as that goes. 1, 2, 3... And we're starting to get close to where we can already see... Oh, look, food. Alright. Oh, looks like city-state border. La Venta. Okay. Yeah, alright. So I think it's time to declare war. We don't see any trade routes at this moment, but we will probably find some. So, let's do a quick recon of who would actually pay us to do this. I'm going to start with the people that have joined us in the denunciation, just because I would assume they would be the ones most likely to give us the most. I'm not even going to consult Brazil. I got to assume he's not going to. Gandhi will almost certainly not pay anybody to go to war just yet. I don't know what his affiliation is, but we can ask him. Poland might actually pay us just to get us, you know, not directing our attention to them. That's not the case, though. Trying to keep track of who all we've consulted this far. So I think that just leaves Rome at this point. Let's check what he's willing to do. No dice. Okay, well, I guess we'll just do it on our own then. Here we go, let's capture this guy. Oh, Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires. Okay. Can we buy... Oh yeah, probably, right? Give a gift. 1,000 would be 80, that's greater than 77. Perfect. So we just need a friend that we can negotiate 40. I think its exchange rate is like 25 for 1 GPT. Let's take his... Well, no, we would be giving him more money. Does he have GPT? He does. Oh wait, we don't need GPT, we need the sum. Alright, so I think what we're looking for here is we give him 2 GPT. He gives us 50 gold right now. There we go. And now we can buy Buenos Aires. There it is. Okay. And that does, well, I think we already had furs. Let's see. Furs, but we're going to be losing it from Mombasa, who is also our ally and also on their border. So look at this. We actually have all the city-states. Not so much Ragusa. We're only friends, but, you know. Okay, so now let's do this. Iron comes back. There we go. Alright, so let's take a look at this profit. It only has 3 charges. That's kind of a bummer. But... And we can see a this guy here, so yeah, he no longer has visibility over here though. Okay. We can send him towards... Can he reach here? He might be able to reach here if we negotiate for open borders. Let's go ahead and do that. He was asking straight up a second ago, so I'm assuming this will be easy peasy. Okay. Oh, crap. I could have gone... Oh, wait, I'm still on the road. Okay. That's good. Well, I don't want to go all the way over here. He'd see us and maybe attack. Let's try and be stealthy. about our long-ranged civilian interceptors. Let's make it to where what he needs to see is the stuff going on here. We can just come in super heavy over here. We'll move this guy up on the hill. The fact that we can get hit is not even a problem because of how much we outweigh them. In fact, here you could just take the pikemen outright. So we could severely damage this guy, or we could completely eliminate this guy and open ourselves up to retaliation. I don't necessarily know that one's better or worse. Let's move everybody else first. Something like that. He comes up here. We do want to favor the melee. Move him up that way. Him here, he'll take this spot. He'll definitely be taking this spot, but oh wait, maybe not. So if we push in here, we bring this guy to the forefront, he can get attacked, which is actually fine. I don't want it, but it's perfectly fine. Let's just not open ourselves up to that, let's say. Let's just not open ourselves up to counterattack just yet. So yeah, let's... This guy only has one movement point left, right? Correct, okay. So yeah, this is probably the safest configuration at that point. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I like that. Can you reach across the river? You can. That's fantastic. Cool. Alright. I'm very pleased with all of that. And of course this worker's a bit late to the party, but we'll find our way. Alright. He's got movement left. That's really great. Unfortunately, moving this way just puts me up against 3 movement point tiles, but we're basically keeping an eye on those guys. He has a movement point left. That's fine. Okay. So there we go. The war has begun. We're going to steamroll Cusco. I would even go so far as to say no matter what his military looks like, and I'm not talking about score, I'm talking about we have 6 foreign legion in addition to Gatling guns backing them up, and they don't. So anyways, thanks for joining me for this part. The excitement's finally here. I'm looking forward to the continuation of this series also. Cole's lagging. We have the hurdle to overcome of research labs and factories being competing builds in at least 2 of our cities. That's something we'll have to address. But anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Take care.